The Boston Celtics are on fire after nearly bagging their 18th ring when they had a bit of tough luck in the finals last season. Boston's back in the game. Before we get into why that's happening, Robert Willaims cough, we have something more important to discuss. It's the Celtics on-court magic. The Boston franchise didn't keep its head low after facing lousy luck in the last season and has responded impressively in the current season. The NBA's big name has been the best team in the NBA in the first half, but what made the Celtics game stand out is that they somehow made it work even though their roster was rarely fit to appear in all games. Big man Robert Willaims couldn't play for the first 29 games as he was in the process of recovering from off-season knee surgery. But William III is back and has gradually been reintroduced into the team's lineup. What's surprising is that even in his limited time on the court, number 44 made a mark. Time Lord even made it to the starting lineup that bagged a big win over the Chicago Bulls, and head coach Mazzulla is all praise for the return of the 25-year-old. For the first time this season, we saw a glimpse of how William will look under Joe Mazzulla, and boy was it a pretty one. While talking to NBC Sports Boston, Joseph mentioned that the center player played amazing. The Celtics head coach thinks Williams brings joy to the team. I think we can all agree that the Celtics star's presence in the rotation gave the team a new dimension. Not to mention his selflessness and the type of game he can make on both ends of the floor are worth applauding. As the Celtics get healthier and Williams gets more time on the court, Boston could be lethal for the rival teams as the season progresses toward the postseason. Yeah, I get it. The Celtics are soaring high in the Eastern Conference. The franchise's performance has been stellar in the NBA this season, but they say there's always room for improvement. Boston currently leads the NBA standings with a 20-8 record through 47 appearances. There's no denying that the Celtics have one of the deepest rosters in the league, but they have a vacant spot that needs to be filled after dealing Noah Vonleh to the Spurs. And guess who's considering trading a 2019 first-round draft pick? The New York Knicks. Cameron Reddish's era seems to be inching closer to a possible end roughly 1 year after the Knicks traded a first-round pick to get their hands on the former Duke standout. The 23-year-old hasn't played 18 games for his team, and news is surfacing that the Knicks are out and about to find a new home for Reddish. The former number 10 overall pick is reportedly on plans to be traded off by his current team for 2 second-round picks. Reddish has struggled to find his footing in the NBA, but he has shown signs of potential at points in time. The 23-year-old has a remarkable talent for scoring, and it wouldn't bother the 17 times NBA champion team if the asking price is only 2 second-round picks. There's no denying that the Celtics are already in a good place, but adding more depth wouldn't even hurt a fly. Number 0 could potentially be a low-cost yet high-potential option off the bench for the head coach, Joe Mazzulla. Speaking of a deep Celtic roster, the roster even has a number 7 player in the league representing them. Yes, we're talking about the 6'8" Taco J, Jason Tatum.
Tatum answers that.
Jason Tatum keeps setting the bar higher for himself by racking up points, and while doing so, he makes it look easy. But trust me, it's not. If I ever tried pulling off a dunk, I would land on my face. Well, enough about me and more about my man Jason. Jason scored a season-high 51 points, including 2 3-pointers in the last 54 seconds, and surprised us all. We all saw the Boston Celtics beat the host Charlotte Hornets 130-118. With that win, the Celtics move to the... they're already at the top of the Atlantic Division. They're on a 7-game winning streak, and let me tell you, they ain't slowing down anytime soon. The star man Tatum, as always, led the pack roaring. Tatum made 15 of his 23 shots from the field, 7 3-point shots, and all 14 free throws that he took. He scored 50 or more points in 5 regular season games, a team record. That's mad, right? The Boston side sure has got a star on their hands. His teammates didn't do badly either. So the question is, do they stack up well? Obviously. Let's take a look at their performances. Derek White scored 19 points. Malcolm Brogdon scored 16 points in the first half. Marcus Smart also added 10 more points to the tally.
Oubre got a hand in there. Oubre. Oh, and play by Smart.
Boston has won 7 straight games, and they were coming hot into this game. In the first half, they were ahead by 17 points, but with about 9 minutes left, the score was 100-98. But unfortunately for the Charlotte Hornets, they couldn't keep up with the Celtics shooting, which made 20 of 43 threes. It's not like the opposition didn't give their all on the court either. The Hornets played brilliantly as well. The opposing team's chart was led by Jalen McDaniels, who scored 26 points, and LaMelo Ball, who scored 25 points. Mason Plumlee scored 19 points, PJ Washington added 17 points, and Terry Rozier finished with 14 points. Bitter luck for them, but it just wasn't enough, right? With that, the Celtics completed a sweep in Charlotte after winning 122-106. I know exactly who the Celtics fans will be thanking for this win: Jason Tatum's good form. I can say for sure Tatum was in charge on Monday. Not only did he score a season-high 51 points, including 7 three-pointers, he scored at least 30 points in 5 of his last 6 games. Talk about consistency, people. His partner on the court, Jaylen Brown, is out with a groin injury. My man Jason has taken on even more offensive responsibility. After losing to the Thunder in a humiliating way earlier this month, the Celtics have won 7 games in a row, proving that they are likely the team to beat this season. And last season too, right? The Warriors side, led by Steph Curry, had to beat the Celtics side to lift the NBA title, and since we mentioned last year's NBA Finals, why not take a trip down memory lane? Let's talk about the crushing defeat. The wound still seems tender, even though it's been months, and the Celtics are showing what they've got this season. The final between the Golden State Warriors and the Boston Celtics was a battle between the veterans and the young crop. Well, the experience won. Curry thought no one on their roster believed at the beginning of the season that they'd go on and win it all. For the point guard, it was a surreal experience. For the first 2 minutes of the second quarter, the Warriors kept Boston scoreless as Golden State poured down three-pointers on their vulnerable opponents. By the end of the Blitz, the Warriors had amassed a 21-0 streak, the longest in the finals in 50 years. But then we all saw a twist in the game. By halftime, the viewers saw a comeback from the Celtics. Sadly for the Boston Celtics, their opponents didn't budge. A Stephen Curry three-pointer halfway through the third quarter gave them a 22-point lead and decided the game in their favor. It also secured Curry the first Finals MVP award of a career that will culminate with his induction into the Hall of Fame. This was all the scoop we had on the 17-time NBA champion Boston Celtics. We'll catch you guys around in the next video.